have all the vibe we were having, but if we can't vibe sexually, we are not gonna go very fair with this thing.
I mean, majority of divorces actually.
Exactly. I mean, we can try to fix that, but if we are not vibe, because the thing is, you know how you enjoy this thing, and chances are, when you're in your middle 20s, someone has done this thing the way you want it.
Yeah.
So this guy is not doing it.
Okay.
So it's not gonna go very far. Even me as a guy, I know what I want from it, and if it's not happening, I'm gonna look for it elsewhere. Or I'm gonna go back to where I was getting.
Some would say you're validating cheating on your wife.
Look, all I'm trying to say with this is that
Today we're not talking about Men's Mental Health Month or anything of the sort. We're trying to find out why South Africa is killing South African men slowly and calling it culture. This is another episode of In Thought. My name is Mangaliso Sneeman, and next to me is
Uncle Chu.
from Uncle Chu Wellness.
Yes.
But Uncle Chu, how are you?
That's always a good question, but I'm gonna answer it the way you asked it. I'm very well, man. How are you feeling?
No, I'm good, but I'm not just asking for you to say you're very well. No, I'm asking like in the in-depth version of it, like
Right
grand
now,
scale.
yeah. Okay, so basically, I'm okay. I'm good. Spent the afternoon with my little sister. That was beautiful. It was a good day, productive day. So I would say I'm feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm in a good space, emotionally and otherwise.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, shut up.
So how are you feeling, man?
On my notion, I'm great. I'm excited. I'm always excited to be here. I don't know if you know this, but this is In Thought.
Yeah.
This is
In Thoughts podcast.
Yeah, In Thought. This is me. This is my platform.
That's beautiful.
This is the second episode. You're featuring on the second episode.
Let's go.
Yeah. So I'm excited about everything that's going on around here. There's so much work that we're gonna do.
Yes.
And then on the other part, I'm also nervous because I wrote my last exam today.
Oh, dope, man.
Yeah, well,
how was it?
It was long. Financial accounting is not easy.
That's good.
Yeah. So I did that. I'm slightly nervous here and there if I'm gonna receive my letter of completion, or they're gonna tell me, "Hey, my brother, come back for one more semester. We still need you." So that's where I'm at right now. But other than that, I can't complain. I'm physically fit. Never thought about suicide, and I'm just here. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
not a laughing matter.
It's not a laughing matter, but yeah, can't just be out here kicking buckets, man. So yeah.
It's beautiful, man.
I'm just gonna run you a few questions I've prepared here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Masi, can you push them through real quick because they're not on this device.
Okay, yeah, so basically my name is Njakyambo. And my middle name is Keika, which I don't really use it a lot, except for my home people. Then my last name is Kauka. Yeah.
Oh.
And if financial accounting was easy, everybody would be doing it. So you should be proud of yourself.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Wait, quick question before we even go to those questions. Why don't you use your names like that?
Why don't I?
Use your name. Great.
I used it a lot when I was growing up, so I feel like I'd grow it.
What does that even mean? How do you grow your own name? That's a permanent thing.
That's more of a childhood name more than anything. And
it's in your breath.
I removed it. It's in my bed. It's not in my ID.
Yeah. Yeah. But let me start here with you. And at what age does South African boy actually learn that crying isn't weakness?
Isn't a weakness.
Yeah.
Or that crying is a weakness.
Isn't a weakness.
Isn't a weakness. Okay, so at what age? Well, it depends from home to home, basically. Like in this current climate, because generally, a boy child and a girl child are programmed differently. So it depends who's raising those children.
Okay.
So in most cases, it would depend like how the parents are orientated around that. In most cases, as we've seen with ourselves, you and I and the guys, is that like in most cases, like a boy child is basically just trained to walk it off.
Yeah.
amen, you amen. Don't let other kids see you crying, you know.
Yeah.
So at a very young age, crying just becomes like a shameful thing for a boy child. It just becomes that thing that you shouldn't be doing, you know. So it depends on how you take it as a boy. The more you evolve, I mean, it could be a bad and a good thing. It could be a bad thing because like some people may not know how to express those emotions in relationships because vulnerability is a strength.
Okay.
You know, it is a good thing because sometimes you just need to carry on and complain later. You know, so sometimes like to work it off can just help you just do what you need to do, and then you can just reflect and be like, wow, I did that. You know, because feeling sorry for yourself as a man really may be undoing on your part. You know, so at a very young age, to answer your question, at a very young age, most men, boy children, are thought to be self-reliant, not to show much emotions, to carry on with whatever it is that they need to do. You know, so that is the programming. And I think maybe by the time you start speaking as a boy, even the way your parents play around you, your father, you see, your father is not that tender with you as a boy.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I'm a father, so the way my son was raised is way different to how I raised my daughter.
Okay.
You know, my daughters are old now. I still carry them like they are the youngest things ever. But my kid, I can always just like let him know how it is to feel a punch. You know,
Yeah.
and be like, yeah, you take it. Do you want to throw it back?
But like on that notion and how men are currently in South Africa, wouldn't you say would see that's a slow pace into their demise over the years? Because right now, we don't have the healthiest men when it comes to when it comes to what you call this mentality in South Africa. You know, we're peaking when it comes to depression, anxiety. Male suicides are rising right now.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere that I think it might be being declared a national crisis, but I'm not sure on how valid that was.
Okay.
But suicide rates are rising when it comes to men, and it goes back to what you said on the notion of Woodsy. You should, yeah, feel now. You'll deal with it later. What if later doesn't come?
Look, it's a very important take, Mango, because like I said to you, like earlier on, before the shooting, you know, I mean, the space,
Yeah.
that's professions.
Yeah.
So like this month alone, like I'd say like 100% of my first clients were females. Men were brought in later on, you know, in couples therapy situations, you know. But what I can say around that topic, around what you just asked, is that like, it's a developmental thing, right? It depends how you take it, you know, and it depends on how you are socialized around things. Because like it's okay to tell your kid like to just walk it off, and then at a later stage as a parent you can come back and be like, hey man, how are you feeling? You know, just to check in, just so you know that like I pushed you on so that you don't think giving up is an option, you know. But then like I want to know now how you're feeling after that completion of that, you know. Like you said, like you're writing an exam that was long, and you know I said to you, not everybody can do it. You know, I can. I'm sure there's some stats somewhere of how many people did your course and then they didn't complete it. You know, so it's one of those things. Like it's how you take it. Some people just take failure as an option. You know, like we've all had some hurdles, some difficulties at some point in our lives, but it's how you push yourself past through it. You know, I had a module that was difficult for me in varsity, and then my girlfriend at the time helped me through it. You know, and at that point, I knew that I was going to graduate idea. I didn't know how I was going to pass that module, and then, luckily for me,
Yeah.
I was in class with a girl that knew the module very well.
Bless women.
You know, bless God, bless her.
God.
So it's one.
I feel like you cooked with
You know?
like the concept of women. Yeah.
So
I mean,
like, you know, so it's like it's one of those things, Mango. Like it's like I am for us as people, like men at large, as able to take adversity. and be able to twist adversarial situations into our favor. You know, I think that whole thing of being self-reliant, of being taught how to be self-reliant at an earlier age, was maybe unintentionally a way of saying, look, man, as a man, you need to be a provider. You need to be a head of your household. You need to see to it that things are happening, you know. So if you take that with good grace, and if there is a good support system around you that's going to come back after everything you've done in the day to just check on your emotional well-being, and to also just re-emphasize that, look, that was not to punish you, you know, that was to teach you a very important lesson. At some point, you're going to thank yourself that you didn't give up. You're going to thank yourself that you didn't fold. You're going to thank yourself that you didn't let that situation define you.
Okay.
You know, so it's one of those things like now it's Men's Mental Health Month, so it's very important to not advocate for softness. You know, I mean, it's a rough world.
It is a tough world.
It's cold now. It's winter. We're wearing our coat while you are a young one, so you're not. So I'm old, so obviously I need to be warmer.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that you need to survive seasons. You know, so it is in those kube adversarial situations are temporal.
Okay.
And it's very good. I think, I believe, because I'm an old school guy, so I still believe that that rough teaching, that walk it off, that, hey man, hey, you are a man, that's what you are. You know, in a sense, it has helped me to be self-reliant. It has helped me to look for opportunities in opposing situations.
Okay.
You know, it has helped me to redefine situations, to find solutions around problems. You know, because that's what you should have. That is the mindset that each one of us should have.
Okay.
Especially as men, because you're gonna have a female that's gonna ask you for money that you don't have. You know, still like, baby, I don't have lunch.
And that's gonna shift you.
You know, so if you're never trained to take care of situation,
Yeah.
you're gonna think, oh, these women are gold digger, da 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 da. You're gonna carry on with that negative narrative of things, you know. But generally, that's a girl that maybe had a father to provide for, you know. You know, so from a male figure, they just expect them to know how to figure things out.
Yeah.
You know, so if you take that teaching with men don't cry, walk it off, hey man, you know, be self-reliant, at a long run, it just helps you. It helps you to be a man that's functional.
Okay.
It helps to be a man that don't get easily offended. You know, I mean, that's my experience, and that's the message that I try to put out into men that come to my offices for therapeutic services.
Okay.
You know, yeah, man. I don't know how happy you are with that answer.
No. It actually raises another question.
Yeah.
So, wait, can you Google the stats, dog? I'm not sure what how that goes, right? But no, man, not the suicide thing, but prison fathers in his generation compared to our generation. So what I'm going about it is this, right? Do you think in 30% now? See, you said it's important, right, to actually let your kid walk it off and everything, right? And because of that thing, that's the same thing you do to your kid.
Yeah.
Right? And then you said it's important to be at least a hard enough man that could weather the storm. I'm not quoting you verbatim right now.
Yeah.
Noticing this society that we're currently living in right now, 35.6% of this generation as fathers, present fathers. That actually explains a lot.
Yeah.
That actually explains a lot. So it's not even a question anymore. It's going to be a notion where the reason why this generation is soft, right, is because there are no fathers, right? But then again, though, doesn't that necessarily carry over from your generation of men not being okay with the way that they were raised?
Yeah. Look, Mango, around the absentia of fathers, it's one of those things. It takes a village to raise a child. We grew up around that generation, you know. So your father was my father. If you had a male figure in your life, for example, when I got here, when I initially knew you, you straight up said, like, can you just mentor me?
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, look, you are young. I mean, I don't know how well I am more versed with life, but I can teach you a thing or two if you ask me, if I know about it. You know? But I'm not going to claim to know everything. I'm still learning about life, you know? It was one of those things, like, but internally, I was glad that you could think like that, you know, because each one of us should look for a mentor, you know. So, low key, I was impressed by you asking me to do that because I think that was our first conversation ever. We were coming from the gym, I just seen you for the very first time where I can just talk to you.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things. Like, a human being always look for what they're lacking. You know, a father may be absent in their child's life, but guess what the kid will be looking for? Their father.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, like for those fathers that are not around, for each child that maybe feels like, okay, fine, maybe a male figure could do this and that. At some point, because mentally you are growing, and you reach a stage of cognitive object permanency at 6. You know, so it's that age where you know that, okay, that's massive, that's family, that's not family, that's, you know, you know that that's my mom for sure. When my mother's not around, she's coming back, you know. But before that, earlier years before that, you're not sure about that. You know, when they're gone, you think they're gone forever. That's why children would cry that much, you know. But over time, you're like, okay, I'll see you later, baby, and then it registers in their mind. Okay, you go in the morning, come back in the afternoon, you know. So absenteeism shouldn't really be. I don't want us to justify, you know,
A soft generation.
is a soft generation on that. You know, I do want us to have a generation that takes responsibilities for things happening in their lives. You know, so it's good to just, for example, I was raised by my grandparents for most of the time. So it's just one of those things that I could realize, like, okay, this is good, this is bad. It has its perks, it has its disadvantages. Yeah, well, so where I'm going with this trade-off thought, like, if you're gonna say we have a soft generation because out at it's like you're justifying a negative thought process. Okay. Yeah, bon? Or a negative belief system. It's okay to acknowledge that. You know, you can always acknowledge that without really dwelling much on it, or without really making it as an answer to a means. You know, what I'm trying to say about this is that, look, you grow up. At one point, you need to take it upon yourself to redirect your life towards where you want to see it.
Okay.
Yeah, well, so like when you see, like, okay, when you can tell me when you've been interacting with ladies, okay, fine, I didn't know that. But when you've been with me, you know, when you're with us, Marcy and them, you know, the jokes are rougher.
Yeah.
You know, the punches are a bit tougher.
Yeah.
You know, so it's up to you then to say, okay, fine, I need to act the way these guys are acting, you know, because maybe it's that rough, because maybe his father was around, or whatever the case may be. You see, but it's upon you as an individual. You know, that thing of, like, I do have a sibling that, like, you know, didn't really take responsibility for their development. You know, to this point, they are still crying for their fathers, dead fathers, if you will. You know, from deadbeat to a dad. You know, so it's one of those things. So, like, it's like, my man, how long are you gonna cry about this?
Did you guys get that? From deadbeat to
You know?
dead.
So it's like one of those things that, like,
Yeah.
how long are you willing to be a victim of your own situation, of your own circumstances? You know, because let's be honest, you can be a victim for a certain time. You know, Children's Act, South African laws could say, like, a child is a child from 0 to 18. And it says, there's a section 150 there, that says a child is in need of care and protection under certain conditions, you know. So for that period, maybe from 0 to 18, you can blame your parents for whatever you like. You know, nobody's really gonna blame you. But the minute you celebrate your 18th birthday, my man, now we're looking at you to be your own person. You know, you can't be a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, like, it's because my mama, yeah, but what did you do about that? You know, maybe you saw that, like, okay, fine. It's like when you are struggling in school.
Yeah.
You know, that all of the people are doing better than you.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility to just get close to those guys.
Yeah.
You know, be around them. You know, I mean, I was around friends that guy that I didn't like at all, but they're also smart in math. I was like, actually, I need to pass this thing. You know, so I had to swallow my pride and get closer to them.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't like them at all throughout our high school life. They knew that I didn't like them because I was good in English and physical science, but the math, I was struggling a bit. But I was there, and then I was learning a thing or two, and then we ended up being like just cool with each other. And then I would give them, I would supplement where they were lacking, and they would help me where they were lacking. You know, it's just like that. And then you just take that whole experience. You see, oh, I learned, I grew from that. Then let me take that same experience and apply it to my own life. You know, I don't have a father at home, but my neighbor, there's a father there. I'm a guy, so I need to go and ask him about these things.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously your parents, your mothers are gonna be uncomfortable talking about some things.
Facts.
You know, so you
They don't have the answers.
exactly they don't have the answers. You know, so it's then your responsibility to just remove yourself from a situation of no helplessness or of helplessness to a position of getting the help that you need.
100%.
If your brain is working. But if your brain is not working, you're going to blame everyone for everything that is wrong in your life.
But yeah, my follow-up question now was gonna lead to the notion of, but then now it's gonna what you call this, make the question now after you say what you said after, like if your brain is not working, because I was gonna say, but then not everybody has what you call this, the operating system I have,
Yeah.
or Masi has, or you have, right? Because I once had a conversation with these other people. Let me go back to this. You're born on the notion where Harriet Tubman says, I freed 100 or 1,000 slaves, but I could have freed more if only they realized that they were slaves. Right?
Yeah.
That's not just what you call this, a thing of pen or a thing. It's a mental thing in general, right? How do you then talk to the men or okay, how do I phrase this? The men, right, that were never taught how to be men.
Yeah.
And they don't even realize ukuthi basengxakini at that point. How do you then, what you call this, talk to them and counter whatever that they're going through? Because you could say what you're saying to me, and I might get it because,
Yeah.
hey man, I'm me, you know. I'm very what you call this, broad. I'm broad when it comes to thinking. I don't think I know it all, and I don't think the people around me know it all, so I'm constantly trying to get more.
Yeah.
Right? I'm greedy when it comes to knowledge and a whole lot of things. But then how do you approach the guy that doesn't even see that they're in the mud? The people that there's this quote that this lady said, and my mom uses a lot. What's he? When you're in shit for too long,
Yeah.
you stop smelling the shit, and it starts being a regular smell.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, majority of the men in South Africa grew up with their moms,
Yeah.
and no men in the house, right? So those guys will be softer.
How do you then approach them? That's a very good question.
Yeah.
Look, man, what I can say around that, Mango, honestly speaking, is like, you can show, there's also another quote, or we're going to quote the greatest writer of all time, Nas. When said you can...
Did you think Nas the greatest of all time?
Well, for me, yeah. So like, so for me, I grew up listening to Nas a lot. You know, generally, as a human being, you find something that works for you.
Okay.
Right? So you said you don't have the same, I do not have the same operating system as you do.
Yeah.
That's so true. You know, not each one of us are unique. That's what that whole thing was about in life orientation, if you're listening. You know, when they're talking about a lot about uniqueness.
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, you are you and everything that you went through. You know, so the thing that you went through aren't the same thing that I went through. What that then says, it then speaks to, like, generally, like, you as an individual. I generally, like, everything is there. Everything is happening at the same time, everywhere. You know that saying?
Yeah.
You know? So it's all about each one of us. You know, so you could be raised in the most conducive environment with the most stimulating things around you, but it may not take to that because of our different operating systems. You know? So how do you then speak to someone who just cannot see that they are in trouble? You know? Look, man, at one point, everybody has to realize that, like, nobody's coming to save them. You know? I mean, you may have every support system around you. I was saying this to my sister this afternoon. That, look, man, your education, your self-development depends on you. Getting your qualification is one thing, but expanding your knowledge is the whole another thing. You know? You can, we're in a day and age where you cannot brag about qualifications. you know, I've got all these advanced qualifications.
You don't even talk
I
about
don't even want to talk about those things
because it's just
like, you know, it's like you just get it and then you want to see how much they're gonna make you.
Yeah.
You know, if it's not making me any money, then I just forget about it.
Yeah.
You know, so we can't really like. There's a chapter for a book that I read that Mr. Kleber, one of my guys, my mentors, said dropping a jaw something. It's like a weapon that someone in the Bible used, like a jaw of an animal.
Okay.
You know, but like if you're gonna kill, let's say, someone with that one tool, that tool is not always gonna work for all your problems.
Facts.
You know, at one point you need to put it down and then use a different tool. You know, so how I'm gonna answer that question to you is that like you as an individual, you can try. I've seen you try to help your friend. You can try to say something. You know, you got your best friend into school. You know, but it's one of those things that like you can put it out there. But if school is not their thing, then there's nothing you can do about that. You know, it's them. It befalls them to find what works for them. You know, because you can show them water, but you can't force them to drink it. You know, it goes back to that one specific golden rule that Nas talked about. You can show them the water, you can never really force them to drink it. You know, so it then says like, you have to worry yourself about yourself. That's how self-development works. And then if you care about people, just need to put these things out. And if you're gonna help someone, I've seen you do it again. You go to school with them, you drag them to these opportunities. It's whatever, it's what you do.
Yeah.
That's for you. You know, you can rest assured knowing that like you tried your very best. You know, and that's all we can do. You know, trying our very best. So you can save 100 slaves if only they knew that they were slaves. Yeah, each one of us have got their own mindsets that operate differently. People think they are what they are not. And the dangerous things about lies is you end up believing them. Yeah, so it's one of those things that looks like you just indoda ngokuzazi. People think that there is this daughter and there to go and all of that. It's just basic Xhosa. You just need to know yourself.
Yeah.
Know your strengths, know your weaknesses. You know? And honestly speaking, that period, that manual period, should be that period of independent thinking for all of us.
Yeah, I can't lie, there was.
You know? So when you're coming out of that whole initiation process, you should be able to think independently as a man. You know? So then there's a failure somewhere. You know? So someone doesn't really take much into whatever that is being taught. They question authority. I mean, you've been around people who've been lying about their virginities, who've been lying about things, you know,
Yeah.
and then put some pressures onto you. So it's
Yeah.
one of those things. It's like some people just lie for no reason when they are young, and then they grow up like that. Then they become those adults that just lie. So you cannot do anything about that. How do you go to someone who has never stepped to the game like, why are you lying to me? Because you don't know if they're lying or not. But as a 13-year-old, you also have that pressure. I'm the only one who has slept with a girl.
Yeah.
You know, turns out all these guys never slept with anyone. You're just lying about it. You know, but it's that exposure. So, how I'm gonna conclude that trail of thought? I know it was long. I'm concluding it by saying, focus on things that are within your control. As a man, as a human being at large, just focus on things that are within your control. You can never really change how other people see life. You know, they can see it through you if it's working for you. That is the beauty of it. Okay. If you do things differently and be around them, and like, hey man, look, the only reason I have that car is because when it was raining, I didn't sleep. I went to school through the rain. You know, when my teachers were hating on me, you were racial profiled in school.
And I was.
So you didn't cry about that and stopped. You know. You acknowledged it and then you moved on with it.
Yeah.
You know, so to this point now, that is like one of your trophies. You overcame that. Okay. And you were a kid, you know. So it's one of those things. You know, if someone else maybe was racial, they wouldn't want to go back to that. I had a situation with a judge that I'm working with. We had our exchanges. You know, I left the courtroom at one point thinking I'm not going back there. But then I was like, look, I'm just doing my job, and my job is to help people. You know, so I'm gonna go back there. I'm gonna do my job and then leave those offices. Today we shared a drink. You know, it's one of those things that like if something bad happens to you, you need to talk to yourself at the end of the day and reflect. That's the key word, reflection.
Okay.
That, which is what therapy is. Most men are scared of therapy, but therapy is just for reflection. But men use therapy in different ways. So let's not take away things that men are enjoying. Like, for example, there's World Cup now.
Okay.
You know, there are things that are for men to enjoy. You know, and it's good for them. Same way as women would go to salons to do their hair and debrief and do whatever it is that they do there. You know, it goes like that.
But
so, key answer for your question is focus on things within your control. What's not within your control, can't do much about it.
okay.
Yeah.
And then to top that off, and I'd also like to ask, and on the notion of focusing on what's in your control, how do you then, what you call this, let or tell men that it's okay to speak up? How do you navigate that conversation?
Well, each and every difficult or each and every alien something, it has to be eased through people. You know, you can't just like force people to do things. You know, like it has to start small with what people are enjoying to do. You know, you find out what people enjoy to do. For example, like in one of the things that I'm involved in is these behavioral camps.
Okay.
You know, sometimes just like call us, the four of us, and then we just sit down and then we braai, then we just talk about things. We call each other out. We talk about what you do. We talk about how you deal with your relationships and everything like that. And then someone older is just gonna just share like some wisdom with us. Like, look, man, you did what you did, but that should never really be a thing, you know, because you forgot that. You did that, but you forgot this one thing, you know.
Okay.
So it's one of those things that like if men are to talk about therapy, maybe because they are so scared of it, you know. Even my office in these big conglomerates have to be put in strategically, because apparently like men are just scared to walk into a psychologist's office, you know. So it has to be hidden somewhere,
So that they don't,
you know, so that like
if they walk
they
in,
make their appointments via emails or the portal or WhatsApp or whatever the case may be, and then I give them a time that they come that specific time, you know, that thing.
yeah.
You know, so it's one of those things that like we have to be strategic about, because we're trying to help men. You know, we're trying to get men out of their shelf. Because if you're programmed not seek help, if you're programmed to be self-reliant when you didn't even know what self-reliance is, then it's not gonna come easy for you to just call on someone and be like, hey man, this is happening in my life right now. I really don't know how to deal with this. Has anything like this ever happened to you?
Yeah.
You know, that trail of thought comes with a sound mindset. Comes with a mind that like is not scared to be vulnerable. It comes with someone who's not scared to put themselves out there for their greater good.
Okay.
You know, so we have a problem of people who are so comfortable with their shells. You know, I used to make an example when I talk to my students. I'm like, look, man, when I was writing my exams, I would never hide myself like this. You know,
Yeah.
like I'll just chill back and write. If what I'm writing you think is helping you in any way, man,
Do you?
I want you to succeed. You know, I'm not gonna hide resources from you.
Yeah.
You know, that has been my motto. You know, like I always see my mentees coming back to me now, like, hey man, what are you doing? When I tell them what I'm doing, they always feel like I'm underdoing myself. You know, people always thought I would be doing some greater things. I mean, I'm doing greater things in my own space, but you know, because maybe of how driven I was when I was younger.
Yeah.
You know, so they were like, oh man, you're employed. Oh, we thought maybe. You know,
You'd be running your own right
yes,
now.
you'd be the one hiring people.
Nah,
you know?
it's coming. It's coming.
You know? So it's one of those, and you are building towards those things.
Yeah.
But it's like Godspeed, right?
Yeah.
So like, it's what I'm trying to tell you. Good, like that whole thing of being like your own person, of being like a person who can ask for help, it has to be eased to. And it then takes men like yourself. You know, you're putting yourself out here in a very vulnerable space on the internet, speaking about your thoughts, speaking about these topics, calling all of us to come sit here and talk about these things.
Yeah.
You see, that's a vulnerable thing, you know.
And
And then it took some individual growth to realize that, okay, maybe this is something that I need to do.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. When it's successful, you'll be seen as a pioneer. I mean, I know you're not the first one to do it in the country or in the world,
Yeah.
but in our metro, in our city, you're one of those people to put themselves out there. Just talk about how you see the world and then ask people to come through and share their thoughts, hence in thought. But what I'm trying to say about that is that, look, it's a thing of we need to put these teachings out there. We need to raise awareness around these things. And then whoever is going to come and seep in this well you're trying to put out there, good for them. And not everybody's going to come and have a sip in this.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that you can't really force people to do anything about anything. They're just going to do what they think is right for themselves. And then if it benefits all of us, then great.
No, I hear you, Uncle Q.
Yeah.
And can I ask, on the notion of everything that we've been speaking about now, what actually pushed you into psychology, into behavioral psychology? Like, what was your state of mind then?
Yeah. Well, I always have to be honest around those questions.
Yeah. When there's a fly here, or a mosquito, I don't know.
That's all right. Just ignore it.
Yeah.
It's trying to eat, man. You ate also. Look, my boy. Like it goes like this. Okay. Generally, helping out, it's always been my thing.
Yeah.
So like I grew up in a church. I talk about this a lot. So while I'm still a kid from a mission. So it's one of those things. So it's like when you grow around people and you see people, when you think you're struggling,
Yeah.
and then people come to your home and like, wait, we're not struggling.
Oh, I've had that.
So it's always been those kind of things. And then like, I would always have to say some things and try to uplift people to get into position because I'm like, hey man, before you got here, I thought you were having it rough.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of thing. That's why I'm such an advocate for group therapy.
Okay.
Because like in group therapy, you always find that like we all have these different social ills or whatever mental issues that we are having or those people are experiencing. But the minute we hear someone talking about what they went through and how they dealt with it, they're like, oh, okay, you went through that.
It's always a shock.
It's always a shock.
Like when you listen to other people's traumas.
But
wow.
But the beauty of it.
What?
It cognitively structures the next person.
Okay.
We all have to be in a position where we could be restructured and redefine what things mean around us. And if that is just a cute way of saying like we need to be teachable beings. If like someone's around, even if like that you'd be surprised how much you can learn from someone who is not where you are. Someone maybe who other people view as a failure.
Yeah.
In fact, when you're talking to someone who gave up on themselves, you push so hard that like you don't want to end up like those people. Like, you know what?
I usually tell Mercy, right?
Yeah.
I told him one time, I'm like, when I look at hobos now, I don't look at them with like the eye of disgust or pity or anything.
Yeah.
I look at a hobo and I'm like, that could easily be me.
Exactly.
And then I go home, I operate. Like, no.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like we all get a good time.
Yeah.
You guys drink when you have to drink. We all take this thing just to have fun.
Yeah.
But it should be for a short time. We're trying to have fun.
We're trying to live.
So the minute you're having fun, you don't need to take more of it.
Yeah.
If you're drinking, the minute you're late, you can dance. That's that. Mission accomplished.
Don't drink too far.
Exactly.
Drink too far.
So it's the same thing for everything. Too much of anything is just dangerous. Mm-hmm. So to get back to what you're asking.
Yeah.
Self-control. Right? Okay, what was the question again? Because I don't want to miss that.
The question was, right, what inspired you to actually get into psychology as a whole? Like,
so basically...
what was your headspace at the time?
So,
and what did you try out before that? And did you ever hop on the notion that, am I late in life right now?
Okay, so basically I tried a lot of things. You know about this. I tried dentistry. I tried BSc. And then... In fact, I didn't try. I succeeded in BSc.
Come on.
So in dentistry, we had the issues with funds. and then social work.
Okay.
I loved social work. It's a profession that I love to this day. The only problem that I had with that was that there was no money or enough money or whatever. So I had to study even further. Luckily, I was majoring in psych. So in my headspace was I need to develop myself further. Do I do masters in this thing or do I do something differently? But I then looked at the broader spectrum. I was like, okay, fine. Even if you do these things in this profession, it takes a while to make so serious money. And then I had a child, obviously.
Okay.
So my
Wait,
headspace was like, I can't really. I had children, in fact. So in my headspace, I was like, I can't really subject my kid to poverty. So I need to study more, so that like I can. And at the time, I think when I googled one of the best paying professions at the time, psych was like in the top 5.
Okay.
So I went there because it's like I already had a degree of it, so I had to do like my honors and my masters in it, and then
Start getting paid.
yes, the whole thing of feathering it further gear was just for flags, but like it's just a thing of like, like you asked, have I ever thought that I was late in life? Oh man, all the time, because the scariest thing is that like when you graduate, even with the Bachelor of Sciences, some people get a job, some well-connected people get jobs, and then you are thinking to yourself, where am I gonna work with this? And then you get an internship, you're getting like 6,000 a month. Like, oh my god,
Like, is this what I studied
is
for?
this what I
Is
studied
this
for?
66K.
And then you're like, no,
Yeah.
and you push yourself back to school, and then you study even further because there are bursaries and opportunities,
Yeah.
and then you study even further.
Let it be known to the people out there.
Yeah,
We study further because it's smelling in poverty.
exactly.
Smelling unemployment. It's not that we want to.
No, when I graduated initially,
Yeah.
like there wasn't so much unemployment. Well, there was unemployment, but when you were educated, you would get
Yeah.
internships and what. I mean, Mas is starting to get an internship. Right
And
now.
he's a graduate.
He's a graduate. So like now it's different than back then. Like back then, government would give you these internships where you could do it for 2 years and get 6,000, whatever the case
Yeah.
may be. But in my mind, I was trying to look at who has a lot of things with my qualification, and then I was struggling to find them. Even in behavioral sciences, like in social work, like people don't really make serious money there. In psych, they make some decent amounts, but it comes to a lot of work. And then even then you have to study even further and study other things and then develop yourself here and there.
But there's always a cap.
There's a cap.
Yeah.
And like now with the serial economy, we have to like work 10 times harder.
We thought he was going to be a great president.
So like it's, to answer your question, Mango, I never knew what I wanted to study. The only amazing grades was that like I had good grades. So I could knock on medicine, I could knock on this and knock on that. So it was a beautiful thing to just have good grades and then also like not fail. It helps when you're studying something and then you're just passing. And they're like, okay, fine, so this is not gonna work. And then you use that as a stepping stone to something else.
Okay.
You use that as a stepping stone to something else. The beauty of it is that like you're as old as you feel. I've never thought in my mind like that like I'm the oldest person or whatever the case may be, or I'm the youngest. I always had like an overdeveloped sense of being. I never assume a role of being a younger person in any room. You hear me like calling people like Nanami or all of that.
You call my mom that, which is crazy.
That is just the position I always assumed, and it always works to my benefit. Because like in rooms of opportunities, people always see someone that they can collaborate with,
Okay.
instead of some kids they can hire. So
Come on now.
that's how I've always used that as a cheat code.
Okay.
When I'm talking to someone who has achieved things, I never really talk from a position of not having. I have what I have. And
Might
I'm
not
okay
be more than you.
Yeah,
but
it's not more than yours, but I have what I have.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it. So help me get it better. Help me get
Okay.
to another level.
Okay.
So when I'm talking to you, I'm just trying to find out how you got there. If you got in there with a connection, put me on, coach.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
So basically, like that's how I got into psych.
Okay.
It was not like a straight road, and then the advanced qualification in it was just like a personal thing. I just studied because there were opportunities, and then thank God that I accomplished that.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you're not too late and things are still happening.
Oh man, you're never late. Like you think you're late. Well, generally, like the pressures of being late come from your peers. Like it's what I said. It's like
Yeah.
when we initially graduate, our first undergrad qualifications, people got jobs, bought polos, and you're like, oh, when am I getting there?
Yeah.
And then you get there, you're like, okay, these guys didn't go this route, and they're not speaking out as to how they got where they got. So like the internship thing's not gonna work out. I don't have connections. Okay, fine, let's go back to school. you know because always, like, let's be honest, well, I don't know for you guys, but for me, school always is that thing with, like, okay, fine, your lecturers like you, maybe they may put you there, all of that thing.
Yeah.
So for me, it always worked as if, like, in school I have better chances of being some. It's just that I didn't really enjoy being a lecturer or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because even when I was a tutor, I hated that period of marking and that worked out the way making us do.
No, no, no. You are right on that notion,
Yeah,
right?
well.
Because I was recently talking to not a friend, but a person from the past, right? We ex-friends, if
Ex-friends.
yeah, if that's a thing, right?
Yeah.
Because we decided to go to our friendship was not working, and this is not me saying that no, we had something going on. This is just literally we were friends, but then with that friendship, we were like, look, man, you weird, not my kind of weird.
Yeah.
So
Just honest, yeah.
let's just like cut this here. But they weren't necessarily done with their studies, right?
Okay.
They were just taking a break. And then they said they're working a certain job,
Okay.
which is the only way you can get into that job is with a qualification.
Yeah.
And when I asked them, yo, aren't you supposed to have a, and based on what I know and what you're studying, they're like, no, man, a lecturer referred me because this person said they were hiring.
Okay.
So on the notion of ukuthi bangabana, school does put you in a better chance. It's always been the notion for everyone. Because
Yes.
yo, like for me, I could drop out and not further study anything, right?
Yeah.
But there's that lingering thing where, damn, if I drop out, I'll have a below average life. I have this thing going on. It's in thought, and then aside from in thought, it's gonna be my my studies. Outside of being an entrepreneur and studying,
Yeah.
I don't know anything else.
Yeah.
And I chose to venture in this because I know for a fact I'm not gonna enjoy being employed for a long time.
Nobody does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really hate the idea now where I have to like check in, tell people this, tell people that, and even though it's necessary, but I genuinely believe that I would be better suited telling people with Zibangabana, yo, gent, respectfully, but go there,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? So I 100% get you on that notion.
Yes.
And let's actually change the whole thing right now.
Okay.
Because we are gonna like do an all-rounder and all of these other things that affect men.
I just had to update people.
No, it's all good, it's all good. Now, recently a show came out, right?
Yeah.
Netflix show, The Polygamist.
Okay.
And it has almost the whole world going on a frenzy.
Okay.
We'll see, men. It even had some of my female friends mad at me. And I don't even understand because Astroli. Bro. I'd like to basically get into the mentality or the mind of a cheating man.
What is the problem with the show that you're talking about? That people are having.
Oh, so basically, majority of women are on the notion of Guti, and this is why you can't trust men because it's based on a husband, right? His choices affect everyone around him.
Okay, what does this happen to?
So he gets married to a girl when he was young,
Okay.
but then tells this girl, Guti, baby, wait here, I'm gonna marry that girl because that girl has what you call this a rich father that can help me elevate my life.
Okay.
But in boy, doesn't divorce that girl, hides the marriage from the second wife completely, right? And then what you call this? Is it the other way around? Wait, who
Got married to the girl with the rich father first, and then left her and went back to that girl.
to the first girl?
Yes, into townships and told the job, I know I said I was coming back. I know I'm married, but I want to marry you too.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell the other wife, but not now. Ends up not telling her at all.
So
She ends
so
up accepting.
yeah. So yeah.
She ends up accepting being a side girlfriend.
No, not a side girlfriend,
Being
a
a
side
second
wife, a
wife.
secret
Now the
wife.
first a secret wife.
Oh,
Secret
also
family.
he actually eventually marries her.
Eventually marries the first girl,
Okay.
right?
He marries both of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
But they
he
don't
ma-
know that.
Yeah, but the first marriage was based on economics. Yeah,
Marriage
well,
of convenience.
marriage of convenience.
They love each other.
No, they
Oh,
did love each other, but it made like the economic factor was also a pushing factor that
Yeah.
it makes sense that I marry this girl because her father is gonna give me all of these tenders and my
Yeah.
business is gonna grow, right? And then after that, he goes on and cheats on this girl. Goes on cheats on both of these wives, and finds another girl in his company, right? And has babies with her,
Okay.
right? And after that, he goes on and sleeps with friend's daughter,
Yes, her first daughter.
friend's daughter, right? And after that, there are still prostitutes on the sides. There, you know,
There's a lot. There's a lot of sleeping around.
he has a lot of people, nah? It's a matter of kubani uJonas engampepanga.
Oh.
It's one of those situations where who did Jonas sleep with? There's a small number of people that.
Now, I think I get what the gist of the story. So yeah.
So my question on that, right, is that
But he was providing for all of them.
no, he was providing for all of them, right? And yeah, and on his notion is that he loved all of them, right? Now, my question is this, right? What inspires a man's brain to actually even get on that notion in the first place? And what would you classify that man is in psychology? How would you classify that man in psychology? What do you think happened? Like, judging from what we've just said right now,
Yeah. Like,
right? What do you think is wrong with that man? Do you think he deserves? Do you also think he deserves the bad things that come to him after?
I think maybe the only problem there, maybe the transparency issue. You know.
Okay.
Like there are different kind of people. Different kinds of people. Like there are givers, there are takers. You know, there are economic people, there are scientific people, there are nerds, there are introverts, extroverts, and all of that. You know, there are different, just a widespread of different kind of human beings as a whole. There are people who don't want anyone in their space. There are people who don't want to be touched.
Yeah.
You know, those are personality disorders or personality traits that can be explained
Okay.
in psychological terms. But when it comes to promiscuity, that is the term. Because if you're gonna date multiple people without them knowing that you're doing that, that is promiscuity. You know, you're just sleeping around. But polygamy, I thought maybe this is a show about the guy that's having a lot of wives.
No. He does marry them, but,
Okay, but
after
like-
he cheats first.
Well, he marries them without the
The knowledge
the first
of the
wife
other ones.
agreeing to have the second wife.
Yeah.
Well, that's how polygamy should go.
The third wife, the first wife agreed, but the second wife, the first wife didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's polygamy. Polygamy, everyone should be in sync. They should agree about everything.
Yeah.
But the minute like there is whole this filtering this, hiding that, then it's promiscuity. That's
Okay.
what that is.
Okay.
So I can get women or men or people hating that guy for that, for the lying and deceptions and whatnot.
But like, sorry to add on to that on the hating part, and they don't just hate the guy, right? But now they look at their own partners that way. And on our way here, I hope my girl isn't watching this.
Okay.
On our way here, I told her to call this Masin, right? And the only reason why women are even angry at that Jonas, okay, not the only reason, but part of the reason why they're angry at Jonas is because deep down they know what they would be down for that, some of them. The only reason, I mean, that's their ideal man.
You know, you familiar with the word hypergamy?
Hypergamy, yeah.
Yes.
Marrying up.
Yeah.
right?
Look, it's what I wanted to say, Mango. Like, you know, when I talk about marriage of convenience, that doesn't mean there is absence of love. But like, it's like women looking at you and looking at me,
Okay.
you know, and then like you are a handsome, tall, whatever situation, but you're not working. You don't have your own things, you know. So, I mean, they may they may. They,
Pause. Let me breathe.
look. I'm trying to make a point. Like, they may
Yeah.
sleep with you, but behind my back.
Okay.
You know, be with me for the convenience of it. Because when they are at a club somewhere and then they want to go home, they can't call you. Because if you know, it's gonna be a problem maybe to bolt for them or all those things, you know.
Yeah.
But for me, if I can't bolt them, or if I can do that, and or I can even go and pick them up.
Yeah.
You know. So women also, you need to be honest about these things. They want that. You know, like you remember there was a girl that I was dating that I broke up with because I was like, okay, fine. You're making that sleeping with you like seem like it's a trophy thing for me.
Yeah.
But look, you didn't question anything when I was taking you out, making you feel good, you know, fixing your phone and all of that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, you know, now you're making as if like you gave me a trophy. Like, what about me, like, spending on you? You know, so I'm dumping you because now you're making me feel like you're doing me a favor by sleeping with me.
Yeah.
But the favor began when I did things for you.
Yeah.
You know, then you're just reciprocating.
Yeah.
In a sense, but I didn't say that to that length. But you know, I made it known that like, look, I'm not vibing with this.
Yeah, like
You know?
like you shouldn't like act like you're doing me you're doing a favor
Exactly.
just by being with me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But in her mind, she was thinking, okay, fine, I'm with this guy because he can do this and that, and that's what women do.
And you genuinely liked her.
I kind of liked her, but what?
Yeah.
Look, but I'm not trying to be mischievous with this, but look, let's be
Yeah.
honest. Like, a boy meets girl. Let's be honest. The guy, you just want to sleep with the girl. It's about sex for you.
That's actually something Jordan Peterson said. He said before you get married to your partner, make sure you're sexually attracted to her first.
Exactly. So like it's one of those things. Like I even said to this girl, my favorite relationship started with sex.
Yeah.
You know, like the girl that I like the most to this day, me and her didn't even know what we're doing for the initial part of our things. We're just sleeping together and just talk about something different. But we knew for a fact that we were enjoying that.
Yeah.
You know? So like this whole delaying of things and all of these things just make things boring. Because you know exactly, you are sexually attracted to me to some point.
Yeah.
You know? But, you know, you're just holding your principles and whatnot, and then, you know, dates and da. But we know for a fact where we are going with this.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, we can have all the vibe we were having, but if we can't vibe sexually, we are not going to go very further with this relationship.
I mean, majority of divorces actually.
Exactly. I mean, we can try to fix it and that, but if we are not vibe, because the thing is, you know how you enjoy this thing, and chances are, when you're in your middle 20s, someone has done this thing the way you want it.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, this guy is not doing it for me.
Okay.
So it's not going to go very far. Even me as a guy, I know what I want from a girl. And if it's not happening, I'm going to look for it elsewhere. You know, or I'm going to go back to where I was getting it.
You know, some would say you're validating cheating on your wife right now.
Look, all I'm trying to say with this is that, like, the most important thing is transparency. You know, because I was very transparent, for example, with what I wanted from that whole situation. You know, you're here to get your things together. I'm trying to have fun. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. You know, let's have a good time.
Yeah.
The minute this starts getting boring, I'm out.
Yeah.
That was the initial messaging.
Okay.
You know, the fact that she chose to be boring initial, then that's that. You know, but what I'm trying to, going back to that, like, look, man, cheating, I can never justify cheating at any point in my life. It's one of those moral degeneration things that we should never really find justification for, cheating.
Okay.
No, but it's not cheating if you're telling people what you're doing with your life.
So how do you
You know.
classify cheaters in psychology, and do you think they have a problem?
Look, cheating, man, cheating is like, it's a cruel thing to do. Let me put it that way. Cheating is a form of, how do you call this? There's a term I'm trying to think of. But like, it's like you're dehumanizing the other person, you know, because you are misleading them. You know, you're leading them on, They think they have this thing going on, and then you're not there. So the most important thing there is just like let people know, look, man,
I'm no longer here.
no, this is initially. I get you're going for dates. You're talking with this person before you get intimate with them. So just let them know exactly where you are in life and what you're looking for. If it ends up working out, it ends up working out.
If it doesn't,
If it doesn't, at least they knew.
Yeah.
And you can always communicate each stage of your being together.
Yeah.
But look, man, like this started as this, but now I'm seeing this. Yeah, well, if you're growing with this person, but this has to be a both directional way, bi-directional thing.
Yeah.
It has to be a thing that's coming from both sides. So, like, in this case of this guy or men cheating, cheating is for really dumb people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, look, you're talking about this guy that was satisfying everyone financially. He could afford that. But do you know how further he'd be if he just focused on one person that built with that one person? Whatever he had,
To be fair,
yeah.
he would find that by focusing on one woman.
Okay.
And then when he got there further up,
Yeah.
that's when he started catching.
So he got comfortable.
Yes.
He was like, I have it all now.
Because hence we're saying, right? He married first wife economically, convenience. Her father gave him tenders,
Okay.
right? And he
Flew.
He companies running wild, driving what you call this,
Like it then comes to that. Like you see, that's why we say I always advocate for therapy, because it's a space to reflect on your life.
Remember what I said? I said Jonas is a victim of what
Yes.
happened when he was young.
Yes.
Neglect. A person that never healed.
Yeah, well-
This is what I said, right? On our way here. I said, the only reason why Jonas is like that, right, is because he's a broken person that never went to therapy. And majority of the people, and all the people that are around him that enabled him to do that are also broken themselves.
Yeah.
Because they knew it was wrong, yet they chose to stay. Joyce was offered divorce, but then she didn't take it. She fought to not be divorced.
Okay.
The second girl literally knew that Jonas is a married man. The first girl, AC, was older than Jonas, but then still chose this young boy. The girl, the high school girl, the friend, Linda is a girl that comes from poverty and not having nothing. Of course she was going to sleep with this man because hypergamy, they sleep. Some women sleep their way up. You can't avoid these things. These are facts.
Facts.
And then he broke his own son.
He slept with the girlfriend of his son.
Well, the girl that he slept with that's young was the same girl that his son was into.
Oh.
Biggest crush since episode 1.
Look, man, what I'm gonna say around that is basically I'm just gonna re-emphasize what you were just saying.
Okay, yeah.
It's more of like, when your needs are not met.
Okay.
Like growing up as a person with unmet childhood needs. If you don't address that as you're growing up, it's gonna come back to bite you. Because like when someone there's a quote. One of the things that I usually listen to on radio, on podcasts, on Spotify. This guy talks about like I think it's biblical, church-based. Like there's a verse, I don't know, I'm not sure, but he who knows when enough is enough will always have enough. It goes like that. I don't know. You can Google that. Maybe you can show you a Bible verse or whatever.
A simpler quote that says that is, a good dancer knows when to get off stage.
Yeah.
Short.
But look, what I'm saying, like if you know when enough is enough. For example, it's what we were saying about drinking. You drink it because you want to have fun, but the minute maybe you are shy, but the minute you get off your shell, you don't have to drink anymore. You are happy now, Then dance and then sleep. Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
So then I want to go back to Lendo. This guy, speaks to his unmet
Needs as a child.
Yeah, because if he had a good girlfriend, you guys are saying this.
Yeah, a good wife.
He had a wife that he wanted. He had someone that he wanted to build with, but he could see that like, hey, I'm not gonna get anywhere far with this person.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that like I always think about it. Now I had a situation like that where like I was dating this person, and then her father was like, hey man, when you graduate, call me. Yeah, and then I broke up with this person. And
Why?
And then no, the relation ended before like the graduation. And then when I graduated, I was like, I still have this girl's number, like this father's girl's number, but I don't know whether I should call him or not. You know? And I went through my entire life like questioning that until like I just decided to just leave town and change spaces.
Yeah.
You know? Because I was like, hey, now I can't call Papa. I'm like, hey, you know, I graduated. Like, hey, you dumped my kid when I leave me alone. I didn't know. Maybe I was expecting those kind of responses.
Yeah.
But I want to go to a like direction where like if your childhood needs are not met, it goes back to like it's your responsibility to feed your inner child as you're growing. Yeah, but because you can't really like go over time like hurting people because of your unmet childhood needs.
Okay.
Yeah, but so it seems to me like this guy you're talking about, the guy from the show, he's a broken man, like you put it. So he's breaking everyone around him. That's why maybe like there's just chaos around that.
Yeah.
You know, because a broken person breaks other people.
Hurt people,
You know,
man.
so it goes back to the same cliche. Like as a man, as a human being, takes responsibility for your own development, man. You know, like understand the dynamics around your life. Understand why things are happening the way they would happen. Like because like poverty isn't really a bad thing. You know, it teaches you like some form of resilience. If you don't break under poverty, you will know how to handle finances. Because we've seen kids who didn't have kids from good families
Who
when
fumbled
who fumbled inheritances.
Yeah, we've seen that
You
a
know,
lot.
we've seen people who won bigger amounts fumble those.
Like I remember
Yeah,
this other kid in high school, and this kid had a Rolex. I'm with you. We were in grade 10. This kid had a diamond Rolex. But
See, it's what I'm trying to tell you. Good, like if you don't know what to do with the resources you have,
Yeah.
or how you're gonna like your mindset should be how I can expand if I can have that.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you think like if I can have this, I'm just gonna get this and that, you're gonna have that. Maybe that guy, the guy you're talking about, in his mind, like, okay, if I can have this mansion, this car,
I can have
this
the women.
affordability, I can have all the girls that I want. That's true, bro. That's why Lewis Hamilton can sleep with Beyonce, that guy.
Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian. She's been with a girl that was in another group, Doja Cat, Pussycat Dolls.
Yeah.
You know, he's been with because he's a millionaire. He's a one-man show. You know, he's a sport himself.
He can. Yeah.
He's a millionaire. He's all of that. He can afford these things. But you cannot really just go to Kim Kardashian and ask to be with her. And she's beautiful. She slept with a couple of celebs. Kim Kardashian likely that she has slept with less girls than an average girl. But it's that like all the people
It's just the people know.
Yes, we know. You know?
That is actually that is bull right there.
Exactly. So like people are just harshing. I will sleep with Kim Kardashian. She's beautiful. She's taking care of herself. You know, I'm making an example. And I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But like there are people just judge it because like they can't get her.
Nah,
You know. So like I think your guy like just had unmet childhood needs, never really addressed his inner child. So like when you achieve things, it's so important that like you be around people who have achieved greater things. Because like every time you think you're the person who has everything, trust me, man, you're going down. That means you are saturated.
Goes back to that thing of you shouldn't be the smartest person in the room.
Never. Yes.
Nah, but I'm with you. I really appreciate your presence now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to keep you for too long on this one.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you could make my second episode. And
Pleasure is all mine.
I'm going to call it wraps here.
Yeah.
We're all going to have you again in the future because
Not a problem.
we need the opinions
Thanks, man.
from the generation ahead.
Yeah.
So with that being said, this is In Thought. Like, subscribe, shit. Do the things they need to do. Put a black child on.
Live long and prosper.
Hey, you know,
Yeah.
like come to In Thought and receive life.
Thank you.
Shut up.